Hi, everyone, and welcome to the RISE Regional Information Session, this one focusing on Africa. We are so pleased to have you all here. My name is Madison McCormick. I'm with the RISE team alongside Elias Hano, who's on the call too. Elias, if you can give a little wave. And we've also got Christian, Yande, and Audrey here, our very own RISE Global winners, who will be leading us through this information session today. And we hope to answer all your questions. We hope you leave here fully informed about what RISE is, what we're working towards as a global community, and hope you apply afterwards if you haven't already started. So with that, I will just quickly start, and please feel free throughout the whole session today to ask questions in the chat or make comments, and we will try to be as responsive in live time as we can, or if we have time at the end, make sure to answer all of your questions. All right. So what is RISE? RISE was founded a few years ago by, in partnership with Schmidt Futures and the Rhodes Trust, which you may have heard of the Rhodes Trust, institution that's been around for a lot longer than Schmidt Futures, but equally is focused on identifying global talent in pursuit for global impact. And so in 2019, Schmidt Futures co-founders Eric and Wendy Schmidt made a $1 billion philanthropic commitment to identify and support global talent. With that, RISE was born, an initiative of Schmidt Futures and the Rhodes Trust, and its anchor of our commitment is that. Right there, you'll see some RISE winners in the bottom corner from this year's announcement. Essentially, we are here to identify and create pathways and avenues for global talent around the world, despite your background or focus area or passions, and support you in your lifetime in those pursuits. And now I turn to one of our RISE winners, Yande, to talk about the philosophy and purpose of RISE.
Thank you so much, Madison. Hi, everyone. It's so great to have you. My name is Yande Banda, and I'm Zambian, but I'm currently based in the United Kingdom, where I'm attending Durham University and pursuing my law degree. So what exactly is RISE? RISE recognizes the brilliance of us as children, as young people, beyond just our textbooks and beyond just being a part of our education system. It recognizes that we are more than our books. Yes, in part we are students, but there's so much more to us. And that's what the purpose, that's what RISE truly is. The RISE program is a program that finds brilliant people who need opportunity and supports them for life as they work to serve others. And I just want to emphasize on this part, which is support for life, because that really what RISE is about. This is not just a one-off scholarship where they're just interested to know what your grades are at the end of the semester. This is support for who you are and who you're growing up and shaping up as an individual in your work to help and serve other people in your community. Thanks, Madison.
Thanks, Yande, and over to Audrey.
Thank you, Madison. Hi, everyone. I'm Audrey, and I'm a RISE Global winner from Nigeria. I'm so grateful to be here and be sharing my experience as a RISE winner alongside the other inspiring RISE winners here from Sub-Saharan Africa. And I will be touching on what makes RISE different. So, to begin with, RISE is a global community. Before I joined RISE, I didn't really have any friends or community members outside of Nigeria, my geographical location. But when I became a part of RISE, I became connected with people from different parts of the world, like the UK, like the Philippines, like Brazil. And with the global community that you have at RISE, you have a greater possibility of learning other cultures and learning diverse modes of problem solving. And I would say RISE is also a pathway to other global communities because the network is so strong. From RISE, I was connected to programs like Ivy House, I was connected to programs like UWC, and it's truly the epitome of learning in a diverse space with other people. Second, RISE is for life. Unlike other scholarship programs, like Yandi said so perfectly, RISE empowers us not just for one semester of our academic year, but RISE also empowers us beyond our educational journey and supports us as we continue to solve problems for communities that we are passionate about. And finally, RISE looks for brilliance. Brilliance not just in terms of your academic performance or your extracurricular performance, which both of them are important, but brilliance in terms of how you utilize your passions to help communities. And I would say that this is something that was very important for me because when I joined Rise helped me kickstart my journey towards finding my purpose and combining my purpose and my passions with a way to help other communities and solve problems that I cared about. And I feel like this is definitely what makes Rise such a unique program.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Audrey. My name is Elias, and I work on the RISE team. And one of the greatest things about the program is what Audrey mentioned about being a global community. I wanted to highlight really quickly just how global that community is. Over the first 2 years of selection, there were 150 people from 170 different countries, which is the vast majority of the world participating in this community. Of the 200 global winners we selected in each of the first 2 years, 69 different nationalities were represented. So as Audrey said, this really is an opportunity to build connections, not just within your local community, but also globally. The last year we selected, as you can see, there were there were finalists from 89 different countries and winners from 47 countries. 19 of the global winners were African. So we make every effort to make sure that we have strong outreach in communities that historically haven't been connected to opportunities like this, because those people from those communities have so much to offer. And we want to make sure that we're representing all parts of the world. And so one of the things that we've been sure to do is to make sure that there are amazing people like Audrey, Christian, and Yande who are able not only to do all of the incredible things that they were going to be able to do as individuals through our program and on their own, but also help educate a lot of other people who don't know everything that's going on the continent about just how much is happening. And so we're really excited to have this many people joining the session from the continent, and are excited about seeing your applications when they're done. We can go to the next slide. So what do we offer? Audrey has talked a lot about the benefits of the program, but I want to flag that those benefits aren't just for winners like Audrey. The program is designed so that everyone who applies gets some benefit. So the first thing is that global community, and you get access to it as soon as you start your application. You can talk to other people online, in discourse and other channels about your application experience and learn from each other. You get free online resources and webinars that help you think about the project that you're going to do as part of the RISE application process. And you get to build a portfolio of exciting project work that you've done, helping other people, learning from them, and having an impact on your community. All of those things are valuable in themselves. You also get, if you progress to the finalist stage, additional online educational and leadership opportunities, possibilities to pitch for funding, and access to Duolingo English tests that allow you to demonstrate your skills outside of RISE as well to universities or employers or other people who might be looking for talented people like you.
Awesome. And when you become
so with that, I'm going to kick it back to the winners who actually know about this.
I'll turn it over to Audrey, Yande, and Christian to talk about some of the benefits of becoming a RISE Global winner.
Hello, my name is Christian Maboko, and I'm from Burundi, but currently based in Armenia, where I'm attending UWC Dilijan. And I'm super excited for everyone who has joined us today, and I'll be sharing some of the benefits that I've got as a RISE Global winner. First of all, I got the scholarship to attend UWC Dilijan, and not only a scholarship, because you've had my colleagues have talked about RISE is beyond academics, beyond your extracurricular. They want to see like what are you passionate about, and they want to support you to become the best version of yourself. So for my experience, we had the RISE residential summit after the inauguration of the RISE winners. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to South Africa to attend the summit because I had passport issues. But I was really excited for RISE to support me throughout the process. Back in Kenya, because I'm from Burundi, but I was living in Kenya as a refugee. I had to travel to Nairobi to process my my passport, my paperwork for both the summit and the UWC experience. And RISE really accommodated me for more than 2 months in Nairobi, and they supported me, which is not only about school or anything relating to academics. So what I'm just trying to explain here is that RISE, it's more than academic, it's more than school. They just want to support you as an individual to be able to support yourself and be able to be a vessel of change in your community, because they believe in you, and that's why we are trying to encourage as many of you to apply for RISE. So that is a brief I can say about the RISE benefits. Another benefits that RISE give their scholars, including the iPad, the academics gadgets such as the iPad that you can use for university or high school, and such different resources that the RISE can provide to you. I cannot say like they provide specific, they have like specific benefit that are going to give you, but they have a very good plan that is there to support you. So whenever you need anything, even if it's not written on social media, RISE will seek different way to provide it to you. So in basic, in briefly, they try to support you and to help you accelerate your work in your community. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Wonderful overview. And thank you for adding your personal anecdotes too. It's really helpful for those on the call. Yonde, is there anything else you want to add in terms of the benefits before Audrey?
Yes, of course. Thanks, Madison, and thanks, Christian. I think I just want to really emphasize that I think the benefits are all put on the screen there. But one of the things with RISE is RISE really does put you as the beneficiary, as a winner in the driving seat. It's not about them, it's about providing you with the support that you need. I personally was a beneficiary of the technology packages. And with the technology packages, it was a fixed amount of money that they gave me to spend on any technology that I needed for my specific course. And so again, they put me in the driving seat of just giving me the support and knowing that I understand what's best for me and for my law degree course. And that's the support that I received, and I was able to including a Huawei Mate GT monitor. You can tell I'm very proud of that monitor because it served me very well. But really, just to emphasize that RISE really does put you in the driving seat, and they give you the support that you need to achieve your dreams. It's really about a personalized approach. It's about understanding you. They don't take us as an entire group of winners. It's understanding who we are as an individual winner from our countries and what dreams we're really aiming to achieve in terms of our impact and helping our communities overall. And I think that's just so extremely important and special, especially as young women and young men who come from the African continent. That can be lacking in terms of the international world of scholarships. But RISE truly does take a very personalized approach to education.
Thank you, Yonde. And Audrey for the RISE Residential Summit.
Yes, thank you so much, Madison. Thank you, Christian and Yande, for sharing such wonderful insights. I got to attend the residential summit, and it is a 3-week residential program that will be held in a different location each year. So, in my year, it was held in South Africa, and it was an incredible experience. And it shows truly, just like Yande and Christian have said, how RISE is geared towards helping all of us on an individual basis. During the 3-week program, we learned about self space systems and service. And this was basically an interconnection of empowering us as individuals, but also teaching us key principles in problem solving through amazing opportunities like lectures, getting to meet inspiring people, getting to have inspiring experiences like workshops that really guided us around how we can make our problem solving impactful and feasible in different communities. And I really enjoyed the Rise Essential Summit. I got to learn so much more about South Africa's history, as well as learning about how I, as an individual, can work with other individuals in the Rise Winner community to empower change together on a collaborative basis. And I would say it's one of the most beneficial benefits you can get as a Rise Winner because it really empowered me to connect on a deeper level with all the other Rise winners, and it empowered me to continue those relationships and strengthen my network.
What a great transition.
Yes, exactly. So, Yande and I will be talking about the power of a global network. And as I said earlier, after joining Rise, I became very aware of how important a network is because my network flourished and it opened me up to so many new opportunities in the sphere of problem solving and funding for problem solving. And in the same vein, I would like to highlight how Rise helped me build relationships and collaborate with peers who share passion for serving others. I would say when I entered into the Rise Global community, I was so inspired by the kind of conversations we were having. We're talking about forward thinking ways to solve problems. We're not just complaining about the problem, which is the usual way we respond to problems. But within the sphere of the Rise Global community, I found that we were talking about tangible ways to create change, and that's really inspiring. Another thing that I found super helpful is the mentorship and professional development from world class talent. And I feel this was tangible during the residential summit because I got to have workshops with initiatives like Africa Matters. I got to have discussion sessions with people like Nelson Mandela's grandson. And all these things combined really showed me how I can leverage my network to achieve solutions and help people like I never thought I would be able to do before. And I'm super grateful for that.
Thank you, Andre. And do you want to give the example of what came from residential in terms of building a network?
Yes, of course. So alongside the network that I built during the Residential Summit, I was able to collaborate with some other Resoners from I was able to collaborate with some other rights winners from Africa, and we are now working towards building an African Union within RISE. This is very exciting because we want to use the RISE African Union as a way to create a source of support and a truly interconnected network within Africa for all the RISE winners. So now, as a RISE winner coming from Africa, it's something to be very proud of because you now have access to a network created by winners for winners and supported by Rise. So we find it as a great space to form more networks within Africa, but also to collaborate and create stronger solutions for the future on an African basis.
Fantastic. Thank you, Audrey. And Yonde, too, what would you like to say around this?
Thanks, Madison. Thank you, Audrey. I just want to start off by saying thank you once again, Audrey, for those profound contributions. I think my major contribution is this. I think the power of a global network can be seen really in when I'm in Canada, I have a Rise winner who I can go to. When I'm in America, I have someone. When I'm in the UK, I have someone. When I'm in Nairobi, I have someone. That's extremely powerful. Being able to land at the airport and saying, hey, wait, I have a Rise winner, or there's a Rise winner in this country who can show me around, who we can work on something. That's extremely powerful, and I think that's what Rise provides. And the fact that it's everywhere, 170 countries, that's the whole world. That's just powerful in itself. I think the second thing I'd really like to highlight, and it's the last thing, is the power of a network in terms of social change. When it comes to social issues, we cannot work in isolation. That's not how providing social change and social impact works, especially when you're looking at issues such as climate change, for example. And on the topic of climate change, one of the things we have in RISE is the Discord as well as the WhatsApp group. So every time someone brings up a very important topic, say, for example, during the recently passed COP27, they talk about climate change, everyone has something to bring to the table. And you really see the gaps in your own knowledge, and you see the gaps in everything else that you do or the projects that you're creating when other people come onto your project and state those gaps and give the solutions to them. And because of this just pool of knowledge, it's building you every single day and building the work that you do in social change. And that's really how leaders are made.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So the power of a global network cannot be underestimated. Thanks, Madsen.
Fantastic. Thank you both. It's really powerful. So now we're going to move into how do you actually apply to RISE? And then after our winners, right, Audrey, Yonde, and Christian, we'll talk about when they applied for RISE, what their projects were. So I'll hand it over to Christian.
Right. So before I start, I would like to ask you, or I like us to ask ourselves one question. Imagine you are holding something precious and fragile in the palm of your hand. I believe you'll do anything not to waste it. That thing is your passion, is your dream that you had since you were young, or I don't know. So deciding to apply to RISE is one way of protecting your passion and trying to seek ways to achieve your dream. So what is RISE and what is the process? So RISE application is divided into 5 steps. So the first one is the application process, which is open up to date, and the deadline is 25th of January. So you have to go to the RISE website and start your application. You sign in and you kind of like register for and present your passion for the first stage. And throughout the process, there's some couple things that you're going to do as you progress. Um, you will start by creating your project, but before creating a project, we have 2 options for those people who can't access technological devices. We still have option for a printed paper application, which is distributed through schools, different schools in your various country. Or if you need it, you can. I believe Madison, she's going to share the link. The email so that you can ask for a printed application. But also we encourage most of you to use the video, the website way, because I feel is more engaging and you feel like I'm doing something. So you will record yourself a maximum video, which is 3 minutes, trying to demonstrate your passion, try to tell RISE what you believe in, what is something that you really want to spend your life trying to solve, and something that is really beneficial to your community, something that you have seen for a long time and you had this, you have been craving to bring a difference in your community. It could be anything, it could be a song, it could be a political movement, it could be a movie, it could be a project, anything that you feel like this is going to impact my community. So the first stage is you record yourself a video, and after recording yourself a video, you'll be asked to review your peers' videos, others' projects, and you'll be reviewing a project from three peers, of which each review has 5 videos, so a maximum of 15 videos. And what are you going to do in your projects before reviewing? So the first stage, the first video, you have to present yourself, present your idea, your passion, and how do you want to connect your passion with your project? How do you want to connect the things that you feel like, I feel like I have a very huge contribution to my community, and my thoughts and my ideas can bring a change. So you have to think how you can connect it, how you can transform it in a movement, like I can say in a movement way, how you can connect it with your projects. But how going to do it? How going to achieve this? By doing a research. I'll give some couple examples from my own projects. So when I started the RISE project, I had a lot of ideas. I was passionate. I thought I really had one passion, but when I studied the application, I felt like I'm passionate about a lot of things, but I had to be very specific. How? So I started doing a research to understand what is going on in my community, because where I came from, there's a different problem that are affecting my people, the people in my community, and I know where you're living. There's a lot of problem, but there's no way you can solve all the problem. So the only way to make sure you have a very good progress for the RISE application is by doing a research, understanding what is going on in your community, and how can you develop a project that is going to solve that problem. And the second stage is you're going to share the goal of your projects. So you have made a research and you know what you're going to do. What is the goal of your projects? Why do you want to do it? Does it align with your passion? Is it something that really push you to go? Because what I want to tell you, you will face challenges in solving this problem, because you're trying to solve problem and you're going to face problem. And if you don't do something that's really connected with your passion, you might lose hope and feel disconnected. And I can't do this, I can't do that. You must have a very strong goal toward your project and have just something that push you, that will make you feel excited, because we don't just, Rice is not just looking people to solve problem, but they're looking people who can try to solve problem that will make them feel like we are really grateful for changing these things in our community. So you share the goals of your project, and you refer some plans. What is your plans for these projects? So Rice want to see how are you, the analytical way that you're using to address this problem. You not just say my problem is to solve education challenges. Yeah, no, you have to explain. You have to give plans that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You show like a roadmap on how you're going to tackle your project, your problem very well. And I believe this will, it helped a lot because it gives you like a very good roadmap on how to understand where I will start, where I'll be starting from and where I'll be ending. And then after saying your plans for your project, after doing your research, after having your goals toward your project, then you have to tell us any ethical consideration that you have. The third stage is you have to outline, sorry, you have to outline what you did. So after doing your research, it will be in the second stage. You'll have 4 weeks to execute your projects. So these 4 weeks, you're going to use these 4 weeks to do the project that you initiated, the project that you started, you developed. And after that, you're going to give an outline. What happened? Did you achieve your projects? Did it went well? What did you learn? Did you do it alone? What do you think? How do you think the application helped you to solve that problem? And after that, you're going to reflect toward your projects, like everything. How was the project? So you'll find like the Rice application is not something that you just do in for the case of writing or for the case of doing. It's a process that really teach you how to become a problem solver, and you'll feel more engaged and be able to see what is going on in your community, and have developed this the ability to tackle problem in your community, because you start by researching something that you're really passionate about, having a clear goal, having a clear plan, doing your projects. After doing your projects, evaluate your projects. So you reflect, how was everything, how was the journey, what was the challenges, and how do you think you can improve in the future? Because I believe for me, becoming a Rice winner or applying to Rice is not only about becoming a Rice winner. It's understanding how to tackle problem in your community. And this application really give you like a roadmap on how you can tackle problem within your community, because I believe that not everyone can get to Rice, but everyone must solve problem in their community, because what you're looking for, we need to create a better world. So can I get next slide, please?
Yes.
Yeah. So after the project, Rice is going to select 500 applicants who will advance to the finalist stage. And the finalist is such an amazing day, full day of activities, group activities, interviews. So they want to see how you demonstrate your skills, what you're passionate about, how you engage with people. And they're going to give you some sort of problem-solving activity to see the analytical way that you use to solve problems. And also, you're going to have a very good interview that I really liked. And after that, you're going to wait for the Rice 100 global winners. Yeah. So from the 500 global winners, from the 500 finalists, Rice is going to select the 100 global winners, and these 100 winners will receive a lifetime benefits. But the good thing is that even if you don't make it to be among the 100 winners, Rice also provides support for the finalists, such as the education programs, courses, different courses that you are passionate about, leadership, music, just different things that you're going to benefit just by being among the 500 finalists. And also you're going to get access to the Discord account where you can engage with different people and learn from different young people, because the main purpose for RISE is to unite young people together, is to create a society of change makers. As for me, I have friends who are not RISE winners from Libya, from India, and we are really doing a very great job planning, advising each other on how to solve problems. So it's not always about scholarship, but it's always about bringing young people together, because this world, we need to come together in order to solve some biggest problems that are affecting us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Christian. And thank you for really digesting that whole process. I'm sure it's so much easier to hear from RISE winners themselves. Something's happening to my screen. So here we go. So the moment everyone's been waiting for, hearing from you three on what exactly you did apply with. What is an example of a RISE project? And it's such a benefit this year to have RISE winners be a part of these information sessions who have gone through the process. So we're going to start with Audrey, and then Christian and Yande will share their projects with us.
Thank you, Madison. Thank you so much, Christian, for taking us through the roadmap towards completing your RISE project. As Christian shared, I started my RISE project on raising awareness of physical fitness for young children, and my RISE project is called Fit as a Fiddle. It's centered on raising awareness of physical fitness for young children, and it was stemmed from my passion for healthy living and my past experiences of bullying while I was growing up because of being overweight. Um, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, perfect. I started my RISE project around raising awareness on physical fitness for young children, and this stemmed from my passion for healthy living, especially because growing up as a young child, I was obese and I was bullied as a result of it. I also found it very difficult to navigate healthy living as a child because whenever I would search for help online, all I would find were complex advertisements on diets or people who look nothing like young children. And I would be very confused. So I started my RISE project to bridge that gap and create a space where children feel comfortable to exercise, where they are not bullied based on their appearance and they can have fun and live a healthy lifestyle. By using my passions to serve others, I found fulfillment, and this is why I am so proud to be a part of RISE. As Christian shared, during the RISE project roadmap and actually working towards building up my RISE project, I found it very challenging because my initial plan was to work with a school hands on, but at the time I started my rights project, it was during the COVID-19 lockdown and all schools were shut down. So I wasn't able to start off as I wanted to. And I found this really challenging. However, what I did while schools were on lockdown was I created an Instagram page and a YouTube channel. And I was using these two mediums as platforms to share exercise and nutritious lifestyle content online. And that really helped me build an audience before I actually started working with schools. And I would say the RISE scholarship taught me perseverance, especially towards problem solving. Because when I started, I remember asking for interviews, I remember trying to go to schools, and really no one was willing to help at the initial stages. But as I was committed and dedicated towards my resolve of actually getting what I needed, um, I found that things became much easier over time. After the COVID-19 lockdown, I was able to work with my first school in January as of this year, and it was an amazing experience. I got to use what I learned from one of the RISE benefits, which is a human-centered design program, and I got to use that and use what I had learned to impact my community, which was working with an elementary school where I basically worked with the students for 1 month towards raising awareness on how to live a healthy lifestyle, especially if that community was marginalized. because the community I went to didn't necessarily have the resources to create PE classes that were engaging and exciting. But by going there, I learned how to cater for audiences with very little resources, and that really empowered me on my problem solving journey.
Wow. Congratulations. Thank you. Oh, it's my turn. Okay, so my project was in Kakuma refugee camp. So I'm a Burundian, but I before coming to UWC Armenia, I was living in a refugee camp in Kenya, and I've been living there for 10 years. So living in a refugee camp, growing in a refugee camp, there's a lot of challenges that affect people. But I think I was very lucky to come across the RISE application because it's kind of like brought a light in my life and be able to be a useful member in my community to be able to reduce suffering. So when I started my RISE project, I asked myself, what do I really need to do? Because I was passionate about making a difference. That was just a very vague explanation. But what specific things I really wanted to do, which was very complicated to me at that moment because I'd never done a lot of projects, community projects. So I started doing a research and try to look back in what has happened in my life, what is happening in my community, what is happening in my environment. So I started doing a research and I realized that we have a challenge of girl child education in Kakuma Refugee. So my project basically was about girl child education. Why girl child education? For me, I believe that women are the backbone of the society, and we have to treat them equally, and we have to make sure they get education, especially in Africa and especially in a refugee camp where girls are not getting enough resources to support themselves. They have very, very many challenges that hinder them from achieving their goals in education. So I did a research and found that 40% of girls in a refugee camp, they complete primary education, but only 4% of them, they are enrolled in high school. And by the time I applied to RISE, I was in high school. And you could see in my class, we have 58 boys and almost 10 girls. So you could see like the ratio boys to girls was very, very, very huge gap. So I started asking myself, what is happening? Why girls are dropping out? I started doing more research. And I came to realize that teenager pregnancy was increasing rapidly in the refugee camp because the half of the population in the refugee camp is youth, and most of them are girls. And most of those girls are orphans. Some of them fled from their countries, South Sudan, Burundi, Congo, and Rwanda. They don't have their parents. Living in a Kakuma, they are facing extremely challenges. And because there's no one to motivate them, there's no one to support them, life become much harder. So I started initiating ways how I can solve this problem. I was very interested to represent my own ideas, but um, I came to realize that what I'm thinking maybe is not what is going on, or my solution cannot be effective to this girl. So I started doing a survey in my community, going to this girl, going to parents, asking them, what is happening? What is the challenge that you're facing every day? So after collecting data, I tried to bring space of what do you think? What do you think could be the reason could be the reason to solve the challenges girls faced? And it was a very huge challenge because I'm very young and I was trying to understand what is affecting girls. So it was very hard for me to get data. So I try to approach people in my community, chair ladies, group leaders in the community to try to give me the forum, and I mean to try to convince people to tell me like what is going on. So after doing a research, I found out that these young people, they need motivation, they need hope, they need some program that some program that can show them the way. And some of the program that I came to realize and I decided to initiate was a program of teaching the sexual health education because of high number of teenager pregnancy. which is actually affecting girls. So I started the project. I initiated a program for teaching girls below 16 years about sexual education, how to protect themselves, the effects of giving birth at young age, and the importance of education in the community. And not only that, was also encouraging parents who are taking care for orphans or orphan children, and parents who are taking care of their own children to empower them and to try to encourage their kids to go to school. So we started 3 weeks sexual health education, sexual health session, and by inviting people who work with IRC. IRC is a organization working in a refugee camp providing health. Try to invite experts to train these girls the effect of STI, the effect of HIV. In general, we're just trying to show them like it is very important for your education. It is very important to take care of yourself as a young person. We also went to those who have already given birth by trying to talk to them that we can still go back to school, because there's this concept of if I already have a kid, I cannot go back to school, they're going to laugh at me. But we're just trying to create these processes of trying to bring light to them. You can still go back to school, trying to talk to parents to support their children who have already given birth to go back to school and continue their education. So here there's a picture where I was talking to parents, and I think the right, and the left we had the girls. We're talking to girls and trying to empower them. And whenever we met them, we usually give them something to motivate them and just try to give them hope, because it's very hard living in a confined place such as a refugee camp without any person to encourage you, to give you hope. Sometimes you feel disconnected. Sometimes you feel like there's no one is there to support you. So my project, I started my project, and after 3 weeks, we ended the project, and it really went well because when it was during COVID. When we resumed for school, I saw many girls. Even those who didn't come to my session, because my session was only for 16 years old, but the information was really spread out by parents. Parents were able to allow their kids to go to school, to go back to school, and I was really happy for that. And after my project, I continued doing it up to date, and I decided to initiate a community-based organization, and which is working back in Kakuma, called the Project 21 Kenya. So we are supporting women by initiating a series of vocational training, trying to promote life skills, just to help women in a refugee camp to be self-reliant. So that was my projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian, and thank you for persevering even though my Wi-Fi dropped, so I'm sorry about that. We lost the presentation for a second, but we're back. And thank you for that wonderful overview and update on where your project is today. Perseverance, I think, is the theme so far, which brings us to Yande to talk about her project. I also just want to acknowledge to the audience that I know we're at time, but we are available to stay on. So we hope you'll hang on. We want you to hear the rest of the call, and hopefully we can answer all your questions. Only a few more minutes left, so thanks everyone. And Yande, over to you.
Thanks, Madison. Thank you, Christian, and thank you, Audrey, for sharing your stories and your projects. As you can see, my slide doesn't have any pictures, and I think this is an important note to that. It's still a developing project, but I would like to speak a little bit about how I started and what was the rationale behind my project. Very similar to Christian, I was dealing with education, but I was dealing specifically with something we call gender transformative education, which is the importance of applying a gender lens to the issues in education that currently exist within our school systems. This includes dealing with period poverty, menstrual hygiene management, but most importantly, transforming our education curriculums to become more gender transformative. My issue was this. Our education systems are too based on the regurgitation of facts to pass the exams and not enough on the key issues, and in particular, the key sustainability issues of the world. And so these sustainability issues look like gender equality to climate change to the issue of water and its access and dealing with poverty and hunger. I really wanted to tackle with how young people can become part of this movement to change our education system and move to one that focuses on the importance of gender and centering the reforms and solutions of youth. this was the rationale behind my project. The way that I designed this project was through a systemic lens, because if there's one thing that I believe in, is that we cannot change things by just looking at the surface of them. We must dig through the roots. And so by doing this, I engaged the ministries of education, as well as more broadly civil society and international organizations, in my advocacy and lobbying towards education systems. This was not easy. And let me express that this is not something I did in a period of 3 weeks or a month. This is something that I was doing for quite a bit of time. And so, again, just an emphasis on, you can take your time between now and the deadline of this project. You don't need to create a mind-boggling project in one day that you think is going to impress the RISE team because you feel like this is the best thing for you. You can take your time and you can develop something that you believe is truly important for you and for your target population. One point I really want to bring up, however, is when you're creating your project, I need you to realize that this is not about you as the individual. This is really about everyone else. You need to decenter yourself to really create a good project and realize that everyone outside is who you're reaching to. Those are the people you want to impact. Their needs matter more than yours. And really taking an analytical approach in terms of this is essential. But let me round up by saying this in terms of my project, because as I said, it's a developing project. It's something that I'm continuing to work on because I recognize the intersections of the education system. Disability is one of them, and it's something that I would like to touch on, especially when I'm looking at my RISE project and in my hopes of applying for funding in the future. But if there's one thing that I want to leave with, it's this, and allow me to tell a little bit. I need you to really believe in yourself when it comes to the RISE Challenge project. Believe in yourself more than anything else. Everyone deserves a chance, including you. You deserve it. Just because you see everyone else and it looks like they might have the best project, or their project might be better than yours, or they might be solving world hunger and you feel like your project doesn't match up. So now you feel like, I don't deserve to apply, or I shouldn't apply, or my project is too small. When it comes to this earth, unfortunately, no project is too small as long as it impacts one person. Trust me, one person is enough. You need to believe in yourself. Encourage yourself. When you feel like giving up, that's when you should go harder. And I know we're out of time, but I think this is very important. Just one point, because I applied on the last day of the RISE project. The last day, RISE had already extended the deadline by 2 weeks. And I remember seeing the advertisement on Facebook 2 weeks ago saying we've extended. And I looked at that and I was like, wow, I said, I don't think I can do it. You know, I looked at that advertisement and part of me at the back of my mind was saying, this is a sign, Yandi. This is for you. Apply. You can make change. And I had to convince myself that, you know what, maybe I do deserve this life-changing opportunity. Maybe I do deserve the support that RISE would give me. Maybe RISE is not like the other scholarship organizations. Maybe this is for me. And the day before, I remember, I got out my phone. I had to go to my neighbor and I had to borrow a phone because at the time I didn't have access. And I recorded those videos and I submitted them. I said, you know what? The worst thing that can happen is that I'm rejected. The best thing that can happen is that I get the scholarship. But as long as I've given myself a chance and I live with no regrets, then that's enough. And I need you to believe in yourself in that same way. Give yourself a fighting chance. You can do it. It's not that bad. The RISE finalist days may be 3 hours. I promise you those 3 hours are like 30 minutes. You deserve it.
Powerful. Thank you, Yande. Thank you, Christian. And thank you, Audrey. Audrey had to move on to another meeting, so I just want to say goodbye on her behalf. But that was so powerful. It's so powerful to hear from you all. And thank you all for adding your questions to the chat. We're fiercely trying to type a response to all of them. But I just wanted to show you all like the other faces of RISE winners that aren't with us on the call today, so that you can see the power and brilliance behind these smiles, these eyes. There's Yande herself. And yeah, I think we've heard a lot today, and I just want to pause and make sure that we also emphasize, Yande, the 5 RISE traits. And I think that's a good place to end, and then we'll put some links. We want to make sure you all have clear next steps in applying. Over to
Thanks,
you.
Madison. Thanks, Madison. I think the 5 RISE traits really summarize, they really encompass what RISE is as an organization, what RISE winners are and who, if you do win, will become and already are, of course. The first one is brilliance. Brilliance in academia is extremely important. RISE is not saying that education is not important. It's saying education is essential, but through our education, we can create phenomenal impact in the different social fields that we work in. The second one is perseverance. You must persevere. Perseverance is simply a part of life. Things get hard, they do, especially in academia. I'm doing law right now, and it's extremely difficult, but I must persevere. And so, as a RISE trait, through the RISE finalist days, through the design of your project, it will get hard, but you must persevere. The third one is integrity. You must have integrity. You must be honest. You must have the integrity in your research as well. That is one of the most fundamental aspects of sociological research, especially when you're doing or dealing with social issues. You must have integrity. The fourth one is empathy. I think one of my most famous quotes or sayings was actually by Max Weber, who created the version approach. And in the version approach, it's basically this extreme empathetic way of dealing with human issues. It's getting into the shoes of the people you're dealing with. When you're looking at the issues of the world right now, you need to view it from an empathetic approach. You need to see it from how people are living in it, from their daily lived experiences. As I said before, this is not about you. You must decenter yourself. If you come from a place of privilege, you must realize that other people do not have the same privilege as you. And you must look at them and look at the perspectives and the experiences from their eyesight. But the last one is a calling to serve others. And this is one of the most important things. When it comes to leadership, I firmly believe it needs to be a calling. You need to have a calling to serve other people. Again, it's not about you. You are a part of the process, but you must have a calling to serve other people.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Yande. And with that, a little glimpse of where RISE winners are today. Like Christian and Yande and Audrey pointed out, RISE is not just a scholarship for academic purposes, but we do support that path. And we have such an incredibly talented network of RISE winners who either were already accepted into these universities that you see on screen or have been able to apply and pursue their academic journeys through these institutions, some really wonderful ones. But like RISE, different than many international scholarships, you have choice and agency in which academic institution you want to go to, and we want to support you in that path. And with that, a closing silent clap, but maybe a little clap for our fantastic panelists, Yande, Christian, Audrey. Today, we're so pleased you all joined us. We do have a recording of this that we'll share afterwards. We'll post it on our Discord, so make sure to apply for RISE. When you apply, you already are getting the benefits of being a part of this global community because you can join our Discord, which we hope you do. You can talk to your peers through the application process. Myself, I'm on the Discord every day answering questions about the application process. You get to meet global youth from around the world interested in similar topics as your own or completely different ones that can open your eyes up, and then start the application today. I hope you're inspired. I hope you reach out. We are posting the application fully on our website this year. So everything you need to know from the FAQ to the actual application link is on our website, risefortheworld.org. So we hope you will meet us there. And I hope that answers all your questions for today. I know we have some more coming in. Elias and I might be able to stay on and answer some of those. And thank you for hanging on a little bit longer than planned. We hope you all have a very, very good week and definitely apply because we have only 2 months left until the closing date on January 25th. So we want to make sure you have as much time to think and reflect and plan and reiterate until the date closes. Christian, Yande, any final thoughts? Thank you so much to you both. It was made such a difference to have you here today. And yes, much love.
Yeah, I saw like people wanted to ask questions. I don't know if we're gonna have time, but what I would like to say is that just believe in yourself. I am from a refugee camp, a place where it is very hard to access internet, a place where there's a lot of challenge, but I didn't want the challenge to stop me from achieving my dream. And RISE is one of the best things that I've done in my life. I realized that I was not doing my project for the RISE. I was doing my project for my community because they really needed something that was inside me, and RISE just helped me to bring it out. So I just want to encourage each one of you. there's going to be challenges, but deciding to apply RISE is one of the best choices that I believe as a young person can do in 2023. So all the best, and you can follow me on my Instagram, Khalifa Maboko. You can ask me anything you want about the RISE projects. I'm really down to support you, each one of you, and yeah, I'm excited for all of you, and thank you for joining.
Thank you, Christian.
Thanks, Christian. You can follow me on Instagram too. My handle is _Shonita, which is CHIONITA, Yande Banda. I'm so open to answering your messages or any questions that you might have. My final encouragement is really just the importance of perseverance, number one. It gets hard, let's not lie to you. Designing a project that you believe can change your community or change the world is not an easy thing, but it's important that you persevere through it and really center the beliefs of yourself and the beliefs of your community in the design of your project overall. The last thing that I would like to say overall is, as Christian said, RISE has changed my life, and I can't underemphasize this. Truly, I firmly believe before RISE, I didn't have much of a purpose. I didn't believe in myself much. I felt, if anything, that my life was over because of the circumstances that I was going through. And RISE came into my life, and it was just kind of like this bright, shining sun that I thought would never rise, just like this silver lining. And I would always tell myself, when I was close to giving up, that, what, maybe this is a silver lining now. And then I got the email from RISE in the morning at 6 a.m. And I remember I was so happy, I couldn't speak for the rest of the day. So RISE has the same potential to change your life. Don't give up on yourself. This could be just the beginning of your greatness.
What a fantastic way to end. We can stay on for maybe 1 or 2 more minutes. I think there's 2 questions that are actually important. Let's see, they might have been answered. Or psychological toll in applying or pursuing your project with RISE. And then there was one for Yande, but I seem to have lost it. Yande, what was the biggest characteristic or thing that made you a global winner based on your own perception?
I can answer the second. Let me start with the first one. Any psychosocial impact. I'm doing a module in sociology, which is in research, and my research is on feminism and its impact in the global south. Let me tell you, it's my mental health is down. But let me say that all research to some extent is hard. That's just the fact of the matter. All research is hard. But when you're passionate about something, these are just small things that you overcome. I wouldn't say that there was a huge psychosocial impact on me, but I will say this. Everything has some degree of hardness to it. It's just we need to overcome. But let me emphasize, RISE has a lot of mental health support, a lot of psychosocial support. You're never alone. So really do reach out for support. They're not asking you to grind yourself to the floor to produce. This is not what RISE is about. They're the total opposite. Please invest in your mental health. Please put that first. RISE has the necessary support and resources for you. One characteristic I would say that helped my research project, I really emphasize on my perseverance. I can't emphasize that enough. If I did not have the perseverance, I probably would not be here. Just film the videos, create your research project, do the design, click, submit. You never know what happens next. You might just be the next RISE Global winner. Perseverance.
Mm-hmm. Great way to put it. And I just want to emphasize what Yande mentioned too. You can find our safeguarding and wellness resources and policy on our website as well. That is something, again, that we take to caring for the whole person. So when you're a part of the Global Winners community, you get bespoke benefits like what she mentioned as wellness supports and mental health and psychology support. So yeah, Christian, anything to add there or any questions from the chat that you want to answer live?
Is there any question that I can answer? I'm using my...
I think we have. I think maybe they want your Instagram in the public chat. Otherwise, I think we've answered most of them today. If you have any issues, I've seen some questions about like, what if you have issues on the website applying for RISE? There should be a RISE support. I think it's support@risefortheworld.org. So please do email that and we will get back to you on your application if there's any technology issues or bugs. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining today. Thank you both. It was fantastic. And we look forward to seeing all of your applications come through. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good luck.
Bye, everyone. Best of luck.
Hmm.
Recording stopped.